Dear Hungarians, my fellow Hungarians, Arad a Tisza. Thank you. Thank you for taking part in the biggest political initiative ever, regardless of the government. I have visited all 106 individual electoral districts within the framework of the national anthem. 12,131 people have volunteered to make a difference in their free time. We have reached, as promised, 3,055 Hungarian settlements, more than 250,000 working hours. We have attended 10,399 settlements. There was a day when we were present at 671 sites at once. I have visited all 106 individual electoral districts within the framework of the national anthem, which I and my colleagues have never seen before. And I have reached 115 sites to this day. Thank you for the help of my colleagues. I congratulate all our volunteers, all our islanders. Thank you for bringing the national anthem to the whole country. Thank you. Thank you. As a result of this, 137,266 Hungarian people have lived with the right to express their opinion in a vote, which we have reduced from 0 forints to approximately 60 million forints. With the help of patriotic, well-feeling people, with your help. Thank you. Just to understand the proportions, the government has spent 2.7 billion forints on the latest national consultation, along with announcements, a minimum of 7 billion, i.e., 7,000 million forints of public money. Dear Hungarian friends, this evening is not a campaign closure, not a case closure. More than 1 million emails have been sent to your country, and since the majority of the questions were in favor of the decision makers, they have also highlighted the important task of the TISA government, which is to build a humane Hungary. The power of the nation and the voice of the Hungarians has moved mountains. We have asked for a joint decision on the future of our country. We have asked, not out of shame, but out of strength and commitment. We have asked, because only together, hand in hand, can we rebuild our country. And what will our new country be like? Humane, solidary, responsible, and patriotic. Dear friends, based on your authority, the answers to your questions will be the cornerstones of the TISA government's program. Let's put our common interests in order. Our country, Hungary, will once again be a proud and reliable ally of NATO. Hungary will once again be a full-fledged member of the European Union. The TISA government will bring home the EU funds blocked by government corruption and create the foundations for economic, social, and social recovery. We will limit the official time of the Hungarian Prime Minister to 8 years in 2 cycles. I think there is no need to explain this further. We will reduce the Prime Minister's current salary by 7.5 million forints, and we will compensate the honors of the representatives. Why? Because this is the only way to prevent the leaders of our country from looking for more in a state of emergency. We will give back the influence of the self-governing bodies, institutions, and resources in education, health, and social areas, because we believe that they know better what to do than here in the capital. We will make the tax system humane. Among our own questions, the lowest, but still highly supportive, was the 9% reduction in the personal income tax. In this regard, we should continue to agree with the Hungarian people on how to make the tax system more just. We will reintroduce the tax on the border with the purification of resettlement. We will pay an additional tax on the Hungarian 5 billion forints because we believe that those who are richer, better off, more fortunate, should give back more to the community. We believe that the right to health is a fundamental right, and every Hungarian deserves it. Therefore, the TISA government maximizes the supply of health products by 5%, so that every Hungarian, from the poor to the rich, can access health products. Health should no longer be a luxury. We will reduce the supply of medicines by 0%. So that we never have to choose between food, medicine, or pension. We will introduce the pension card so that every Hungarian pensioner can spend a maximum of 200,000 forints a year on food, medicine, and healthcare. We will introduce the pension card so that every Hungarian pensioner can spend a maximum of 200,000 forints a year on food, medicine, and healthcare. The TISA government regulates and prohibits the transfer of financial resources to private healthcare and promises to transfer at least 500 billion forints every year to the development of the state healthcare system. My dear friends, the TISA government is initiating the Road to Prison program. And in the context of this, we are turning to the education, healthcare, and rural development of the national wealth that has been reclaimed. We thank you for your answers and your votes. We understand the power of the government. The task is clear. We are moving forward. Many people ask, this is very nice, but from what? The transfer of EU money can increase the Hungarian economy by at least 1% on its own, which means an annual increase of 800 billion forints. We can increase the amount of corruption, the abolition of luxurious clothing, and at least 3,000 billion forints a year for the implementation of our plans. With a predictable economic policy, many hundreds of billions of forints can be freed from the financing of state debt. And yes, we are counting up the endless financing of propaganda, which saves more than 500 billion forints. We can go back to the ballet. Based on the votes we received for this question, there is a clear demand. We will issue an extra tax for the people with the greatest wealth. Hundreds of billions of forints of tax revenue are expected from this. We would have liked to start saving even before we took office. Therefore, we suggested to the government that we, without state funding, free of public money billions, raise the question that is important to Hungarians today. The results show, my dear friends, that the question is divided between Ukraine and the EU. The opinion of the majority of Hungarians is not clear. A government that really helps the everyday life of Hungarians to lead our country with love and humanity instead of winning. The government that promises to be a family friend, but mostly serves as a family friend, will be replaced by a human-friendly government. Because a government that really loves families does not make a difference among the citizens of the country. It does not leave the homeless alone. It does not look at the families of the childless and sick children. And yes, a government that loves the citizens of the country does not force women to make decisions and does not put pressure on them. A truly human-friendly government does not look at the way we live, but at how we hurt each other. With the reconstruction of a human-friendly Hungary, we will have a country in which the power is not in the impoverishment, but in the care. in which it is not a shame to help. It is not a luxury to look after others, and it is not a privilege to be humane. We believe in a country in which the weak are not afraid, because those who call themselves strong do not want to rule. A system that does not punish, but supports, where the question is not who is right, but who needs help. And with this demand, we did not meet in statistics, not in comments, not in a TV studio or Facebook post, but in the streets, in the squares, in reality, among Hungarian people. Our 12,231 compatriots applied to us voluntarily, and in 3 weeks we reached all 355 Hungarian settlements with them. Because we started the national voice so that everyone's opinion matters. Because neither the smallest village nor the last street can survive. This was our decision. And this decision, my dear friends, moved a country. And when people came, they not only voted, but also told stories. They said that sometimes they are afraid. They said that they often get angry. That they are ashamed of what is around them. That they no longer trust anyone. But now, finally, something has moved around them. Something has moved inside them. We saw with our own eyes how our gates are illuminated by our opponents. How the mayors of small towns threaten us with huge beams who dare to come close to us. But this intimidation interests fewer and fewer people, because they have a much greater desire to live in a humane country. In which they are not treated as subordinates. These deported mayors do not even understand that we are working for them. That I would like to convince the majority of Hungary that it would be better if the decisions were made locally. That there is a Hungary that wants to get its country back. And the other one is more in favor of luxury, of the unbridled economy of 3,000 people. There were my dear friends who cried. There were those who only said what was necessary. There were those who did not write anything for 20 years. There were those who never went to vote. There were those who always only voted. But now they are standing there. Not because of us. Not because of a party. Not because of a campaign. But because they feel that this is about them. This is about their country. It is not about a party. It is not about a movement. It is not about an organization. It is not about a name. This is about the people who finally want to believe again. And this faith must not be allowed now. This faith held its hand to the members of the island who stood behind the fence in the main square of a village. And they were there from morning to night, because they said that if only one person votes, that is enough. This faith took the bicycle volunteer to the village from village to village. And yes, this faith stood in line in the main square, at the hospital, in front of the market. This faith defeated cynicism, and this faith rebuilt what they took from us, hope. Dear friends, the generations have come together, found each other in a common history, in a common future, and this is what cannot be reversed. Yes, there was victory, there was defeat, but not those who lost, who did not vote. Not those who did not dare to go there yet. Not those who are still uncertain, because they will still have time, and we will have patience for them. The lost, I beg you, is the power that the Hungarian people, for the first time, did not fear anymore. We lost the system that for decades could only divide, fear, and manipulate. But now people are talking to each other, not with propaganda, but with each other. Not by refutation, but by conviction. The fallen party leader, who lost the system built of thousands of billions, lost the power to never have to answer the real questions. And he also lost his 3,000 supporters, who are afraid that they will have to count on what they did to our country. The winner of these 3 weeks is the Hungarian people, whether someone voted or not, because today we took back what is most important, our own voice. And now comes what may be the most difficult. Now that so many people have moved, that the flame has exploded, that they have begun to believe again, now comes the further work. Because we cannot stop. Because what we started cannot stop at the papers, cannot stop at the booths, cannot stop our enthusiasm. This can now become a peaceful and humane Hungary from the movement building around TISA. But this is not enough what we have done so far. Now we need more. Comrades, the public opinion research is a significant advantage for TISA. And it strengthens the public mood of the country. The meeting of millions from Zala to Szabolcs, from Vazmegi to Békés. But I would like to call everyone's attention to one of our most important tasks. We have to remain modest now, because modesty is not weakness. Modesty is one of the most important strengths. We need to know that what we have achieved so far, we have not achieved for ourselves, but for each other. We need to know that this success is not power, but obligation. We need to know that this victory is not the goal, but the tool. Now we need to organize further. Now we need to build more and more communities. Now we need to talk to those who do not believe yet. Now we need to be there on the street, in the village, in the market, in schools, in front of the medical order, everywhere. Now we need to learn, to be patient, to understand, to accept that not everyone comes at once. But if we move forward, they will come too. And now I speak to you, young people. I know that many of you are here, whose parents and grandparents live in the countryside, who face every day how strong the propaganda is, how deep the distrust is, how difficult it is to break through the walls that have been built for years. And you ask, what can we do? I tell you, love your ancestors even more than you have done so far. Love to go home and do it even more. Do not fight. Go home. Do not argue. Go home like those who bring a better future as a gift. And when you are at home, ask for only half an hour. Sit down with your parents, grandparents, look into their eyes and tell them why change is important to you. Do not talk about politics, but about what hurts, why you worry, what you hope for. Ask for their help. Because believe me, they love you much more than any TV channel. Your voices are stronger than propaganda. Your words are more credible than any newspaper. Tell your parents and grandparents that TISA does everything that is good for the Hungarian people. The 13th anniversary, the young people's charity, the ground-based support, the southern border fence, the real reduction of taxes and the support for home creation. It only extends it, because we believe that single-parent and single-child families are the same Hungarian families, and the children living in them are just as important as the others. Tell them that TISA is reducing the gift of system use to the level before 2022, so that the oligarchs do not become rich on the Hungarian pensioners and Hungarian grandparents. Believe me, if in a country the generations speak to each other with respect and love, there is nothing to lose. And yes, TISA will win the election, not just a little, but also for those who are still afraid today, to have a future again, to have a common language again. Humanity is not a program, but a guide, and if we build Hungary around it, it will not only be more money for the Hungarians, but also for its maintenance. We will not only have our rules of justice, but also our soul, not only our future, but also our face. This is our task. That is why we asked if pensioners should have a nice card, worth 200,000 forints a year, which can be used for travel or health care. Many have wondered what this is for, but we see the reality around the country. We see the 1 million pensioners living below the minimum wage, those who distribute medicine, those who turn off the heating in 13 degrees Celsius, those who cannot afford to go out once a year to get some fresh air, to recharge their batteries. And we are not talking about luxury, but about lifelong hope. Because if they can be removed from the daily routine even for a week or two a year, if we give them the chance to wait for something that makes sense, their life will be longer. Their everyday life will be more humane. And this is what young people and the elderly understand. 90% of the population. Thank you very much. We know what it means to be an elderly in this country. And we say it is time for the heart to play a role in the budget. It is time for the heart to play a role in the budget. And yes, pensioners really need help. Not a simple donation. Not a pension compensation in November. Not in 2027, but now. A pension compensation now. Not tomorrow, but today. Dear Honfidars, perhaps years later we will remember these 3 weeks as the few moments when a country's heart began to beat again. When the streets of Nema started talking again, and there was singing. When people did not run away from each other, but stopped. They asked, listened, and understood. Perhaps a few children will ask later, Dad, where were you when the change started? And then we can say, I was there. I voted. I stood behind the fence. I talked to my neighbor. We did not listen any further. This will never be taken away from us. Nor from those who for the first time in their lives took up the action for the public, and who are now training to call for the system. Let's call for it, and let's get the majority. An old lady at the home of an elderly man in Zemplen County, Borsodabauj, Rixi, said this at the age of 98. You know, I will not live long, but I feel that with this paper, with this vote, I can still help my great-grandchildren. And she voted with a trembling hand, slowly, but she voted, because she has faith, and there is love in it. We met Balaz after the election. He lives with ALS, in which Daniel Karsai also suffered. He is slowly losing his movement, his ability to speak. But when we visited him, he did not talk about himself, but he asked what I can help with. This was his first sentence. He did not complain, he did not ask, he wanted to help, because even in this state, he would like to be a part of what started in Hungary. Thank you, Balaz. Another moment, Maya. A retired nurse who was standing at our desk at the Danube Hospital when the former Mayor General jumped in. The majority would have backed off, but she did not. Maya said this later. She even apologized after I quoted her. I was wearing the brave TISA fireman. I hope you did not think I would push myself. And she added, I will come back to the Danube Hospital with you tomorrow. And the next day, we went back. We went back, and more people came to vote and sign. The same thing happened in every place where our volunteers suffered atrocities. The aggressive physical assaults were every day. But we behaved with dignity. There was a lady who gave a hand to the man who beat her and said, it hurts very much what you did, but let's hold hands. Think about what you did, and come back. If we think together with these people, we can be sure that we are on the right side. Because only those who can behave in a stressful situation can be sure that they represent the good in the heart. The good in which Hungarians are not enemies, and we never resent the real attackers, but those who made our country like this as masters of hatred. The conversations, the words, the faces, the moments were all in our common memory. In the new chapter of our national history. In the rebirth of a humane Hungary. Our heroes are not in Hirado, but in the bus stop in front of Sully and Bolt. And the great became from this little, not from leaders, not from institutions, but from Hungarian people. Hungary is not a slogan, not a PR campaign, not a money pool that can be limited to maintaining power. The humane Hungary is a place where the teacher teaches to dream. The doctor wants to cure. The student is looking for the future. The rich produces with dignity. The entrepreneurs want to produce and be happy. The elderly are safe, and the young can live in hope. And this, my dear friends, is not an illusion. This is not naivety. This is the reality that we can create together. Because now we see that we are the majority who would like a country like this. Not louder, but more dignified. Not more aggressive, but more true. Not in respect, but as a real community. Now it is our turn to build, to organize, to think together. And yes, our movement is tied to the islands of TISA. Their task is to transfer the ability of the local communities to come together, the hope of change, and the revival of local community life, even in the smallest of towns. They carry the flame from village to village, from city to city, because at the end of the day, we will have 10 million islands, and the name of our common island is Hungary. We are 3 weeks out. Maybe we are tired, but this is good rain fatigue. We are not campaigning. We are building a humane country. And now comes the biggest question. What should we start with at this moment? There are few moments when everyone knows that something important has happened, when the public is starting to shudder, when the hope is hiding behind familiarity. This is a moment like this. And these moments are rare. That's why they are sad, and that's why they are dangerous, because they are either built into the future or they are falling into the past. That's why we should not sit back in the weekdays as if nothing had happened. Because if we don't continue this now, if we don't organize what we have moved, then it will disappear, like so many other opportunities in the past. Now we have to preserve what we have built. Now we have to make visible what was only a feeling until now. Now we have to name what we have only suspected until now. Because this initiation is not only about a popular vote, but it can't be said that everyone only cares about their own problems. It can't be said that there is no common denominator, because there is one, and this common denominator is humanity from today. And if we cling to this, then there is no system that cannot be changed. There is no past that cannot be moved forward. There is no future that cannot be won. This system cannot be reformed. It cannot be improved. It cannot be made better. This system can only be changed, and we will do this. Legally, democratically, perfectly, without hesitation. For everyone, for them, it is obvious that the ruling power has lost its majority and will spend the last months in a decreasing minority. But how this change will be is up to us. The more we gain power, the more silent we will be. The greater our victory, the more peaceful we can start working. This is what the next period is about. In the coming months, we will be even more, because there will be no choice. Because this is not a question of sympathy. This is a question of responsibility for our children, for our country, and for our self-esteem. And we will not blame those who have not come so far, because we know that everyone has their own pace. But we will not stop from now on, because those who once stood up, the rest will not give up. And now, when the words are silenced, when we pack our bags, when we disassemble our tents, then the really important thing that we have done all this for begins. Because freedom does not begin at the end of the campaign, but when we remain silent. Then there is no more silence, there is no more audience, only the decision is in us to continue. And now comes the day when we first wake up, that we are not only dreaming of a country, but we are building it together. Not only do we long for it, but we also take responsibility for it. Now comes the day when instead of the 10,000 volunteers, 100,000 people are moving. Those who have just watched will join us. Those who have just thought about it will do it. Because, my dear friends, the hope is piercing through, the hope is piercing through, the truth is spreading, and this cannot be re-evaluated in the ballot box. If you ask me tonight who I am, I would say that I am one of you, who do not want anything else. Just a country where you do not have to be afraid, you do not have to listen, you don't have to count from the slaps, the retortions, the intimidation. You just have to live, work, laugh, dream, plan, be at home. Now we know that many of us are like this. We are not isolated. We are not too sensitive. We are not naive. We are the Hungary that dares to say again, I love this country. Not the government, not the state, not the party, but the country. The people living in it, the landscape, the history, and the future. And dear friends, let's not let this out of our hands now. In history, there is always a moment when silence is broken, when a nation turns from its corners and stands on its feet again. This moment is also part of the process. My dear Hungarian compatriots, today is Flower Sunday. Let's stop for a moment, breathe in the air, open our eyes. Something has changed. Our beloved country, Hungary, has woken up. Together, we want to close our 20-year-old past in peace, love, but very firmly. We would like to relive nature like in spring. To live again, flourish, develop, and be happy. My dear friends, I have good news. The biggest opposition party has become Fidesz. 51%, Fidesz 37%. Hungary, Hungary, Hungary. And for everyone to understand, the country is not, but Fidesz can be an opponent. But it's good to say this. We just have to win the election. But I have good news. We will win, not a little, but a lot. We won't stop, and the dance is about to begin. After Húsvét, we will take the country into our own hands again, and we will show how we Hungarians live. If possible, we will discuss even more with each other. Together, we will peacefully discuss what kind of country we would like to build after the elections. We will go to the smallest towns in Hungary, and we won't be standing in the streets, not in the streets, not in the streets, but we will talk about good things, and we will think together. In Hungary, we will build a new road for our country, where we would like to ask every doctor to turn right from me. Go to the doctor, to the zebra, to the flag, let them go. But we also ask the rescuers to come. Thank you very much. The rescuer is coming. Leave a little space if you can. The doctors are there. Thank you very much. In Hungary, we will put together a new road for our country, where we will find the right answer to every question, where we can count on what and why doesn't work, and how the government of TISA will start and build a new road for our country, Hungary. This is our mission, and in the last 3 weeks we have proven that together we can be successful. My dear comrades, it is a Flower Sunday. We are a few days away from the celebration of the uprising. Our country is also before the uprising. In the hope of this, let's hold each other's hands. Lawyers, factory workers, family farmers, public workers, farmers, rural people, Budapest people, right-wingers, left-wingers, independent, true patriotic Hungarian people, let's hold each other's hands. Let's show our country a more beautiful, peaceful face again, and let's say together again that no matter what the fallen power does, no matter how they threaten, lie. We are still with the millions of good-hearted Hungarian people. Step by step, brick by brick, we take back our country and build a truly peaceful, truly safe, just, livable, free, and humane Hungary. Long live Hungary. Long live Hungarians. Home first. Thank you very much.